Hey guys, Coach Ben here, bigbenchas.com. Today I wanted to try something a little bit different here. So what we have is a new lifter at the gym, and I just kind of kept the camera rolling. And what I normally do is I'll break these videos down into micro content, so I'll explain a certain trait on the bench, a certain cue, such as how to set your feet, how to create leg drive. But I figured I'll just do a video overlay or an audio overlay on this entire video and just kind of talk you through what's going on, the concepts I'm trying to teach her as she's going through the movement. Now, this happens to be someone who's never benched before, very little lifting experience. That's usually the first thing I'll start with. It's a unique situation when you get a new lifter in. So the first question I'll always start with is, um, have you ever benched before? Real simple. I'm either going to get someone that's never touched a bar or I'm going to get someone that's pretty proficient. But I'm always going to start them out the same. I'm going to start them on an empty bar. All right. If they are someone that's has a little bit of benching experience, I'll just kind of have them go through what they normally do just so I can take a look at it. Lets them kind of just settle into the environment and whatnot. Usually we have a little more action going on at the gym at the time, but for this particular morning, it was just me and her. So it was a good opportunity to kind of get real personal with her, joke around and whatnot, make her feel comfortable, and just have that one-on-one time. So that's what we did. And she happened to never have benched before, like I said. So, everything is brand new. We really have to dial it all back. We got to start with the very basics. And a lot of times it's difficult for coaches. Where do I start? Where do I begin? Especially with someone that's completely brand new. Um, so I kind of take it a step by step. So first thing I'll take a look at is, where are they placing their shoulders? And so that's what I had her practice off the bat. We were going over, pinching your shoulder blades together, pulling them down towards your butt, really getting your chest up because that's the first thing I'm looking for is, are you pressing from a safe position? If her shoulders are rounded forward, and things just look ugly from the setup there, then that's something that needs to be corrected right away because we don't want her developing any shoulder injuries or shoulder tweaks during this session. Not a good way to start off. So that's the first thing I'll always look at. I say that's the number one thing. Make sure they're pressing from a safe position first. Um, so I don't care if the bar path looks shitty first try. I'm just getting the concept of pinch and tuck down. All right, set your shoulders in a good position. That's the first thing I'll teach them. Then I'll kind of just take an overlay. Hey, where are they placing their hands on the bar? Um, is this putting them in a good joint alignment? Because we want to have elbows underneath the wrist throughout the movement. Elbows about 45 degrees away from the body, so we don't want them benching out extremely wide, touching high on their chest. Getting into the chest, the shoulders, rather than getting into their lats and using their triceps a little bit more. So what I did, I put her about a thumb out from the smooth. So usually that's a good place to start with women, just because of their structure in general. Um, and this was a good grip for her to be using. She's about 45 degrees away from the body with the elbows. And I'm teaching her, all right, touch this specific spot on your chest. So we're going over bar path and then toss it back over your shoulders. So getting a little bit of that slight angle. I'm just going over bar path with her. And really, that's how simple I kept this session. Usually, I'll cover a little bit more with people if they've already benched before. We can kind of get into some new stuff. But for this particular woman, her first benching session, that's really all I did. We went over pinch and tuck, getting the shoulders in a good position. And then, as you're watching the video, you can see she's struggling with the bar path quite a bit. All right, so she's either pressing away, or she's pressing back too much, or she's not touching the same spot. So she really just needs to build that consistency. It's like riding a bike, guys. The more you do it, you just kind of ingrain that pattern. You just kind of know where to go, um, and it just becomes natural. But when you're starting out, oh man, you're gonna be all over the place. I remember when I first started benching, and my dad was teaching me, and I had the empty bar too, and I'm a younger kid at this point, and I'm all over the place with the bar. So he actually had me tone it back. We did some dumbbells until I built up some of that stability, and then we went back to the bar. But same with anyone, got to start somewhere. We always start with the bar. Once she started developing a good bar path, and I felt confident that she'd be all right. That's when I started putting just a little bit of weight on. You don't need much. Don't be afraid to break out the ones, even the 2.5s here. Is what we got, the 2.5s. Um, any type of small little jump. Let her build a little bit of confidence, right? She sees, all right, I can handle this. Let's see what I can do. And then you know what, guys? If you tell them what they're lifting, wow, a lot of people are real astonished and they feel real good about it. So I went around tell her, um, wow, you just lifted 50 pounds. She's really impressed with herself. She didn't think she could do that. No one comes in thinking they can uh, push 50 pounds over their face. That's a lot for someone that hasn't really lifted weights. That's a big deal for them. So always kind of reinforce that. Wow, that's a lot of weight. For the average person that hasn't been lifting. So always a good thing to do. And yeah, we just kept going over it, going over it. Um, what I'll usually do with someone, once they start getting that down, we'll start talking about getting where we got to get the feet and whatnot. But then I'll kind of make sure that beginner's checklist is taken care of. Pinch and tuck, um, chest in a good position. Your hands in the same spot each time. The bar path looks good. And once those fundamentals are down, then I start attacking the setup process. Going over some more advanced cueing, like keeping the neck long, sliding the uh, sliding your body back, getting your chest stretched up to the bar, where to put your feet, getting the toes out, pushing back on the bench, getting that glute activation by pushing the knees out. You've seen all my videos on YouTube, guys. There's a lot to cover in the bench press, so we'll hit that setup. Then the next step for someone would be the takeout. I'll look at how they're taking the bar out. Can that be improved? Closing off the armpit cue, making sure they're activating their lats from the start, handoff communication, doing all those things necessary to complete a good takeout process, put you in the right muscle groups. And then, we'll go through the actual pressing motion, which is actually last on my list. Make sure the fundamentals are down first. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So let me know what you thought of this video. Um, like I said, we didn't do too much here. Nothing real exciting, not a lot of weight being thrown around. But I figured I'll just kind of cover quick what happens when a beginner comes in. It's not the most glorious session, but hey, they pick it up real quick. Those beginning lifters, she's already starting to get that bar pat down, starting to gain some of that confidence. And, when I told her she was lifting 55 pounds here, she was really surprised. And it's a really cool feeling when you tell someone that and they can't believe it, they're so proud of themselves. So, real good feeling working with beginners. And that's really how I approach it. Keep it real simple, guys. Don't need to do much.